Hello, have you ever had a fixation on high school simulator games because you had a fixation on Yandere Simulator? Chances are you did. Well, because I did too. There are plenty of these high school simulator games. However, the one that I'm going to be talking about today is Schoolgirls Simulator. One of the few games of my, and probably your, childhood. I hope that you can uncover some forgotten memories with this cinematic footage. Because honestly, I'm sure you missed this game. And the reason why I say that is because this game has vanished from the iOS App Store. I'm not sure about Android App Store, but for iOS, it's definitely gone. The only reason why I'm able to play it now on my iPhone is because I never deleted it, which is really weird because I would assume it probably wouldn't even open after being deleted. I want to make this video to reminisce. I want to explore the game again as a whole and revisit the major details with your guys' help. You guys are really helpful. In the main menu, you can never forget all the customization options that you have. However, despite all these customization features and different models, I kinda always play as Girl 1, with long pink hair and a random uniform. Why the pink hair, you ask? Why are you even asking that? You must be new around here. My favorite color is hot pink. Don't get it wrong. When you start the game, you spawn in your little dorm room, apartment, complex thing. I don't know what to call this. You got a bed in one corner, you got a kitchen on one wall, you got a random tail that you can put on your character, and let me just tell you, this is obvious, but the hair physics are crazy. I think this is probably the craziest hair physics I've ever seen in a high school simulator game ever. This one looks kind of gross. It kind of looks like you have jello as hair, but you know, you could turn off the physics if you want. Usually I keep it on. Hey, you're probably wondering, if I gotta use it, where's the bathroom? Well, that's a great question. You would assume that the bathroom is behind this door here. Well, actually, no, this door leads to the basement. The bathroom is found right next to your room, but it's not connected to your room. Who constructed this building? I gotta know. The bathroom is fully functional with a toilet and a bathtub. And this is how our basement looks like. Yeah, definitely doesn't look like somewhere we can hold someone hostage at. Right? We would never do that, though. We would never do that. Let's leave this filthy old basement and go outside. Get some fresh air. What a nice day. How convenient that I live right in front of my school. At the gate, there are so many weapons that you can choose from. However, one of the things that I always pick up, no matter what I'm doing, is this broomstick. Not only because I love the idea of riding around on a broomstick like a little witch, but also because it allows you to fly so much faster, basically making my gameplay much more easier. At this point in time, your high school simulator life takes action. Whether it's doing missions for prizes from the principal, or even attending class to improve your intellect, or getting ran over by random cars in the streets. You know, just like real life. Except in real life, I would hope that the cars would stop if they see you in the street and not continue to drive. If you didn't know already, this game has so many random things in it. You can find random things on the floor like coins and money, random food, and these pumpkins and cauldrons. We can see that cauldrons can revive zombies, and zombies is something I'll be talking about later, so don't forget about that. And the pumpkins, they don't tell you anything. But I'm pretty sure we all made the mistake of eating the pumpkins. They kill you instantly. I don't know why. Does that happen in real life? If you eat a pumpkin, do you die? I don't know. You can also kill NPCs by feeding them these same pumpkins. Let's try out the police system. I grabbed an axe and started to chop away. I was expecting to be tracked down, but then I saw this random guy being carried to prison. I don't know what he did. I'm the one killing people. I don't know what he did. Okay, let's try this again. When I cause chaos, teachers and club leaders will follow me to try and apprehend me, basically stopping me, and I'll get a game over screen. However, if I'm being tracked by the police force, then I'll be shot at and most likely killed. But you can avoid being shot at if you change your settings from manual to auto, which basically makes your character follow a regular schedule just like any other NPC. So when you put this on auto, these police officers will treat you like an NPC, putting you in jail. It's pretty funny because this jail isn't locked, so you can open it and escape, and after you open it, it kind of gets broken. So, I mean, it still works though. It still contains NPCs. This game essentially revolves around your eval, which is basically your reputation. The more eval you have, the better reputation you have. This goes along with your stats, basically saying who you like the most, who's hating you the most. You can also see this for other players as well. It's pretty interesting to see who has beef with each other. Like I mentioned before, leveling up your intelligence is possible. All you gotta do is sit down in your chair during class time. However, I don't know why, whenever I sit down, I'm looking over here for some reason. I have no idea what I'm looking at. Same goes for this chick. I don't know what she's looking at, but we're obviously looking at something. One of my favorite details in this game is being able to draw on the window. I always draw something whenever I'm playing. You could draw on this window, and I'm pretty sure you can draw on the chalkboard too. Something that I never understood is the ability to carry random people. You can be complete strangers with these NPCs, and yet you can swoop them up, just as like a eagle will swoop up a baby chihuahua for dinner. Since you can carry these people and fly at the same time, you probably guessed it, yeah, you can drop people from heights. Obviously, this is very fatal for them. It's kind of like an easy way to eliminate someone, along with the pumpkin, of course. Just like every other high school simulator mobile game, the ragdolling is really funny. In the menu, events can be selected just with the click of a button, such as the graduation ceremony. When you select this graduation ceremony, everybody will gather in the gym. So I waited on stage for everybody to pile in. Since all of the people's hairs are different colors, it was kind of like watching Skittles pour into a bowl. Excuse me? Okay. Sorry about that, I just stepped on your foot. I waited a long time to find out what is actually gonna happen. The only two things that happened was the principal showing up congratulating us on our graduation and freaking Schroeder in the back playing the piano. I thought there was actually gonna be like a walk across stage type of thing, you know, shaking people's hands, but no, it was just people complaining that they had to pee the whole time. Did they really think that this was gonna be fun? How could they think this is fun? Let me show you real fun. Let me show you what. If I want to stay honest with you throughout this entire video, I gotta tell you that the only thing I did was date on this game. Yes, I did other things, but no, these things didn't entertain me as much as dating people. My love interest is not set. I don't have a specific NPC that I love, unlike Schoolgirls Simulator. My love interest can be many different women. Now, no, I don't date the boys. That's only because I never really found any of them attractive. They all kind of look like lollipops. Come on guys, be more like Ryuji, build some muscle. You guys' heads are bigger than your bodies. However, I do have to confess, yes, I did have a soft spot for the maids. I believe their names are like Naoka? I'm very sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. When you want to get a lover, you don't only compliment them. You have to give them little gifts to show that you really care. This could be little plushies that you get from the arcade. You could even give them something simple like a little cake. But let me tell you the secret of winning someone's heart faster than any other method, which is these chocolate hearts, aka choco. When you give someone a chocolate heart, people will kind of gather around as a crowd and say, wow. Then the character that you're flirting with will start to gain hearts around you whenever you're in radius of them. I mean, I guess you can say I'm pretty popular with the ladies. You'll start to have a ask out progression percentage. So whenever this percentage is higher than, I would say 70, there's a good chance that you will get accepted if you confess your feelings towards them. Pretty sure they can also confess to you. I think you have to have like a certain type of dialogue option. I think it's auto talk. Along with the chocolate hearts, I usually give out plushies, and I always make sure that the plushie I give someone matches their hair color. In this case, I picked out a purple cat for this girl with purple hair. However, I made the mistake of giving it to her while she was ordering in the restaurant, so she threw it because it wasn't her order. Like, bruh, of course it's not your order. Because she threw it, the stuffed animal glitched and was being read as Trey. When you finally have a lover, you might not notice this, but you can actually hold hands with your lover. Honestly, you have to be in the correct angle to even see it. You can lay down with your lover, you can bathe with your lover, very intimate. All the while flirting with another girl. You're basically cheating, and it's pretty messed up, but it's possible to date more than one person. Hold on, wait. Why is he talking to one of my lovers? You want to talk to lovers, huh? Well, he's taken care of, all in a day's work. Now I just gotta get rid of the evidence. Let me just crawl over here and no one will notice. Everybody's just minding their own business, walking to class anyway. No one sees me. Just gonna walk to the incinerator. A witness? I can't have any witnesses. Come here. Hey there, have you ever been stuck on the toilet because you don't have any more toilet paper and you desperately need help? No? Oh. Well, if that happens to you in this game, there's a way that you can call someone right to your aid. All you gotta do is press phone and then go to Friends tab, and all your friends should be listed right here. Well, I don't have any friends. No worries, Oli. We're gonna go get a friend right now. All you gotta do is press Get SNS. This character can either decline your request or accept it, depending on how well they know you. Let's ask this person who I have never talked to in my life. Well, looks like they declined it. Well, let's just ask our lover. Surely she'll give us her SNS account. And just like that, Saina is part of our contact list. I should probably mention that there are multiple shops in this game, but the one that I really want to focus on right now is the Maid Cafe. Something that many players, including me, do is steal jobs from these maids. And I know that sounds so messed up, but let me just tell you, it's probably one of the easiest ways to gain money. Simply placing these two maids on the roof, they can't get down. So really you have the cafe to yourself. The downside to this is that you have to pay for these items with your own money to gain money. So yes, it's a slow progression of money collecting, but it's still something. Going back to the police force, these girls that are called Sakuras have a very similar skin style to all the other Neokos in the game. That's because they're from the Unity asset store made by somebody named Suryun, and I'm so sorry again if I mispronounce that. Long story short, you're gonna see a lot of different Neoko skins in the game. You'll notice too that if you check a Sakura's status, they don't have anything in particular such as most like and most hated. That's because they are non-data saving, which means you can't really build relationships with them because they don't save eval, which makes sense. I would rather it that way because they're the police force. It would be kind of weird if you could date them. Speaking of dating, whenever you kiss your lover in front of a teacher, any teacher, doesn't matter, they will immediately apprehend you, which is pretty funny and ironic because you can date teachers. Yeah, you heard that right, you can date teachers. This is where the hypocrisy comes in. Whenever you kiss your teacher lover, they won't do anything. They won't apprehend you because, well, you're kissing them, they're your lover. You can even date the nurse. It's a pretty weird detail. The reason why teachers apprehend you when you kiss someone is probably because of public display of affection. Nobody wants to see somebody make out with somebody in the hallway. Let me tell you, I hated that growing up in high school. If you're not in high school yet, please listen to me. When you're in school with your significant other, don't go out and start eating each other's faces in the hallway. It's disgusting. Nobody wants to see it. Please, do me that favor. Do it on your own time, please. You know how I said you can date multiple people at the same time? What happens if you kiss one person in front of the other? Well, this happens. They go like, drop dead! But they don't do anything else. They just kind of stand there and they still love you after that. I feel bad for these NPCs. If they see me do that, they need to leave me immediately. Do not suck up to me anymore. Sometimes your lover will follow you around the map no matter where you are and will say something like, I love someone, and they'll just kind of stand around you. It's really cute. Unfortunately, I didn't record this. It didn't happen to me, but I'll give you a visual of what would happen. I love someone. You might be wondering, where do these NPCs come from when you first load the game? Well, they all don't come from the same place. They all come from different types of directions. But one thing that is very obvious is that they are coming from their house. At the end of the day, when everybody walks home, they actually go and teleport within their house. Kind of weird that they put on their pajamas outside and then go in their house. But even after entering the house, after they disappear, they're not in here. So I'm actually kind of curious on where they are when they disappear. But hey, at least they have some free food in their house I can just grab and eat. It's pretty cool considering that before this house feature, the houses had nothing inside of them. Some of these buildings still remain solid, meaning that you can't enter them. They're very blurry. Now that I think about it, now that I'm really looking at them, they remind me of the buildings from Kitten Cat Simulator 3D. If you thought that these NPCs are simply here to walk around and fill the space, then you're wrong, because these NPCs actually talk to each other, they actually compliment each other, or they could even insult each other. When you look at their stats, you can see who they hate the most, who they like the most. Some of these NPCs hate Rena E. And yes, Rena E, not Rena Lee. It's been an ongoing mistake that even I thought that Rena's last name was Lee. Rena is either the highest academic status or the lowest academic status. It always kind of varies based on your game save. I also know that NPCs can like each other or even date each other. I know this because at one point these two delinquent girls had hearts around each other whenever they were around each other, and it was really cute. Of course, it's not in this file. It was years ago when I used to play this all the time when it happened. I'm not sure how to make that happen. I'm not sure if you could even control that, but it was pretty cool. At the start menu, of course, there are so many options, including one that I always avoid, which is the zombie button. When you select zombie on and join the game, there's gonna be random zombies that spawn around these grave sites. The zombie men are pretty slow, but the zombie women are very fast. I'm gonna be honest with you, this zombie feature never really interested me. It was more annoying than anything. They're always infecting people, always making people freak out. I couldn't really have a normal school day with them around, so I always turned them off. The only cool thing about them though is that if you kill them, you get some pretty cool cash from it. When you're infected by a zombie, you can infect others. And something that I didn't know about this game is that the maids can revive you. That's only if you stand in one area and let them revive you rather than going and attacking them before they can revive you. Another way to infect people without having any zombies in the first place is to go to the infirmary because they have a zombie poison thing, zombie injection. I'm not sure why this is in the infirmary, but it is. Along with the zombie injection, there's survive injection, and there's many other stuff that you can inject, both in yourself and others. When somebody dies, the teachers will not hesitate. They will bury the bodies, which is pretty odd to me because you would think, why would the teacher bury the bodies? If anything, it would be like a funeral service burying the bodies. But probably just for simplicity, the game chose that teachers bury the bodies. Also, while somebody is crawling, you can straddle them, which is basically sitting on their back and controlling them like a freaking horse. I don't know why this is a feature. I don't really know what it means. I assume it's just supposed to be funny. This works with literally anybody who's crawling, so you can do this to teachers, students, just not zombies. Now let's talk about the thing that I've been waiting for, the gacha machines. I love to buy these little things because I love to collect the little figurines that you can get. I used to try to collect literally all the figurines that are possible to get. I mean, look at these little figurines. They're so cute. They remind me of little Monster High dolls. It's just adorable. I started to notice that these little stuffed animals that I was getting from the gacha machines were moving. They were walking away from where I was standing originally. I'm not sure if this is intentional or this is just a glitch, but they were literally walking away like they had their own minds. Let me just show you what happens when you wear a towel and nothing else to school. So many freaking perverts come following you, literally telling you, please wait. Bruh. What do you want me to wait for? For you to just stand there and look at me? And it's only these lollipop guys. There's no girls. Freaking perverts. I would insult all of you guys at once if it wasn't for this if it wasn't for this cooldown. Did you know that you can break glass in this game? If you didn't know, now you know. It's only a select few types of glass. However, you can't break every single glass that you see. It's It's usually the shop glass that you can break, basically being really annoying. Speaking of being annoying, you can barricade people in a specific place just by using this little gate thing. These things are so fun. You could do literally anything with them. You can trap people anywhere with them. But to keep it simple, we're just gonna barricade our classroom so nobody can get out. Now that the exits are barricaded, it's time to attend class like nothing happened. They're never gonna expect it. What's the matter, guys? You can't get out of your classroom? Why don't you just jump over it? Oh wait, you can't jump. You don't have a jump button. Okay, guys. I'm gonna be honest, I think it's time to use our basement. Let's collect some people, drop them in our basement, and just see how they behave. Long story short, these people will just beg to get out. Sometimes they'll even talk to each other. They'll sit down, they'll realize their lives are miserable being down here. You can even murder them in here. They can't even escape anyway. Locker rooms. We've all been in one. Part of every high school experience includes the awkwardness of a locker room. As you know, this game has clubs and sports and all of that type of stuff. So of course, these NPCs need somewhere to change for their sports. Introducing the girls' locker room. You might be wondering, where's the boys' locker room? Well, I'm not even joking when I say this. They don't even get a room. It's literally like by the stairs. They're changing out in the open. I don't know why they don't get a room. This is my locker. I can change into any outfit that I want. You know, while I was changing, I started to realize maybe it's time for me to join a club. I gotta do something with my social life, so let's try out some clubs, shall we? In the end, I got kicked out of all the clubs and sports because of my violent behavior, quote unquote. The only sport that I actually enjoyed was basketball because I was actually making hoops. I guess my basketball practice actually came in handy. If I can't do sports, I'm gonna try construction. You can find a little construction hat both in your classroom and the furniture store. When putting this hat on, you basically have unlimited power with chairs. And I know that sounds pretty lame. What are you gonna do with chairs? Set them up for Benson? You could, but you could also do this, which is so funny. When you move other people's chairs, they'll still sit on it no matter where it is. It's definitely very funny once you just mess around with it a little bit. I took this one guy's chair and put it in my basement, and he couldn't find his chair, so he's just walking around my apartment. Now that I think about it though, I do feel a little bit bad that I did that to him. I mean, not that bad, but I mean, he's a lollipop boy, he kind of deserves it. Every single game will have glitches. You can probably guess this game has plenty of glitches. There are so many glitches on this game that you can find on YouTube, but I mean honestly, it's way too much for me to show all of them. So I want to test out the most prominent ones and the ones that interest people the most. Let's start off with money glitches. These money glitches come in handy when all you really want is lots of money to spare you for a while. I'm pretty sure there's not only one way to do this glitch, I'm sure there's plenty of more ways, but the way that I learned it a long time ago was buying a hungry potion, sucking it in a injector or whatever the freak this is called, a syringe, carrying a random person to the sea, immediately injecting the hungry potion, waiting for the girl to order food, but right when this cashier shows up, you immediately grab the character that you sucked the hungry in and you drop her so she dies. Then you bring a random teacher so that she can bury the student. Then after that, you choose basically all of these and see which one's the right one that gives you unlimited money. That's the way I do it. I'm pretty sure the other ways are very similar. Now, if you excuse me for a bit, I'm just gonna collect some money, so just hang in there. Okay, I got some money now. I'm feeling great. The next glitch involves the construction hat. We have to bring our chair to this cart by the gate. By carrying your chair in the cart, you can glitch into places that you can't get in normally. For example, glitching into these low quality buildings that have no entrance. I'm pretty sure that this glitch was used to glitch into students' houses before you could even enter them normally. Moving on to the next glitch, which is probably also my favorite glitch, is riding the snowboard skateboard on this, I don't know what is this called, like a merry-go-round? What you want to do is control your character to go around and round in a circle no matter where you're going. I know you can't see anything, but the goal is to pick up so much speed that you basically break your character. And in the end, you'll look like this. Like I said, it's probably one of my favorites. Me and my siblings were laughing so hard at this.
What the heck?
Another glitch that I want to talk about is the slides at the sea. When you slide down and while you're sliding, you press R and you'll start to like slide in and out of the map. At one point, you'll basically make your way under the map, which allows you to see everything that lies beneath, such as the waterfall particles and your basement. It's a pretty weird sight to see, especially because you probably didn't even expect your basement to be located under the entire map. Another glitch that people have been telling me to do that I haven't done yet is incinerating a Naoko. Why? I don't know. Let's try it out. Oh my god. Now this is definitely something else. This doesn't happen when you incinerate regular students. I'm pretty sure this is because they're a different type of model and, you know, different models react differently to stuff, so it's probably why they're the only ones that this happens to. I was also told that if you get enough blood on yourself, you turn blue, or you have like blue blood or something like that. I attacked someone over and over again. Finally, I turned blue. It wasn't necessarily blue blood, basically a texture malfunction, but it's still really cool even though it's not intentional. I got a little curious and I decided to incinerate basically all the Naokos. And let me tell you, at the end, it looked basically like a ritual around the incinerator. Also, side note, when I was looking around, I found these random accessories just laying on the floor and in the sky. It's right behind the maid cafe and I've always noticed that there's always something here and I never understood why. I just want to ask you guys if you know why this happens. Is it because the Naokos are being killed or what? Because I don't know, they're always here. I don't know if there's an explanation for that. Similarly to glitches, there's always gonna be mods for every game. This game has plenty of mods made for it. Here are some that I found on YouTube. I've personally never modded my Schoolgirls Simulator before, but it's really cool. There's different types of textures, different types of outfits, colors, and I'm pretty sure different types of hairstyles too. Props to those who made these mods.
Hello, before we go into section 5, let's go over something Oli forgot to show you. This is what happens when you incinerate Raimu. Her face just gets stuck like this. Pretty creepy. More on Raimu later. Now back to Oli.
This section I'm gonna dedicate to talking about things that people might have not noticed about the game. Starting with this frame on our TV, Cooking with Chef Gopher, episode 11. I bring up this because honestly, no one talks about it. I've always been curious on whether or not this was actually a real show or it was just something made for the game specifically. I searched up this title, I searched the image too, and I still couldn't find anything. I'm not sure if I'm not looking deep enough, but I really can't find anything. Let me know if you guys find out where this comes from. Not that it's super serious, but just because I'm pretty curious about it. Now let's visit the place that scares everybody, Zombie Island. Now, quick note, I've been to this island before, but I never knew why they called it Zombie Island. I thought that they thought the zombies spawned there. Of course they don't, they spawn by the graves. So I was really confused on why this was known as Zombie Island because whenever I visit it, there's no zombies. What I failed to do was pick up this cheeseburger, this very innocent looking cheeseburger, because when you do, that's when the zombies spawn in. I'm not gonna lie, it really scared me because I wasn't expecting it, but now I know why they call it Zombie Island. They're not exactly a threat because they can't escape the island, but of course they can still infect you. Since we're already here at the sea, I thought I'd talk about the random sea animals that you can just eat without cooking. There's orcas, sharks, dolphins, tuna, and turtles, sea turtles. You were also able to straddle these animals, but now you can't, but in older versions you were able to just sit on these animals. Some people have told me that you can drown yourself and other NPCs, so I grabbed Rena E and I held her under the water against her will, but I waited a long time and nothing really happened. I'm not sure if I did this wrong. I might have. That's probably why it's not working. Okay guys, I'm recording on the next day. I woke up really congested, so I'm very sorry if I sound sick. I'm not. I just just keep sneezing. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I couldn't drown anybody. Every time I was in the water, my head was above the water. So let me know how to do it correctly because I'm pretty sure I did it wrong. Moving on to posting rumors. Personally, I didn't even know you can post rumors, so this is really new to me. You'll find a very different computer in the computer lab. When you sit here, you have the option to post a good rumor for $10. When you post a rumor, it doesn't really tell you what the rumor is. It just says that somebody received the good rumor. I was thinking, well, since I have so much money, I could, spare some cash on some good rumors. So I kept buying rumors. After spending a couple $100s on rumors, I was ready to go see how the world changed. But I couldn't even find anybody around the school and nothing really was happening. I would assume that these rumors mess with a character's eval. The only thing I found was NPCs freaking out about zombies. Speaking of which, if you use an axe on a zombie, their head will pop off like a freaking LOL surprise doll, and you can actually give somebody a zombie head and they will eat it. They just turn into zombies afterwards, but I think it's really weird how they're basically committing cannibalism if you really think about it, because zombies are technically still humans. Also, just a side note, when I was messing around with feeding people zombie heads, I saw the Nayoko skins just T-posing right here. This is really weird. I've never seen this before. I'm pretty sure it's because they're dead and I incinerated them, so their bodies have to go somewhere. But I just wanted to show you because you probably would have thought this was funny too. I'm sure that all of you already know that there's a hot spring in this game. It's one of my favorite places because it's so realistic. It kind of reminds me of a Naruto filler. Hot springs are meant for relaxation, forgetting about your essay that you just flunked. And most importantly, there's no men in this place because there's a boys' room and a girls' room. You don't want a creepy guy looking at you when you're in the freaking hot spring. Now, what would you say if I told you that you can frame a pervert? I'm gonna show you what I mean right now. But first, look, there's more T-posing NPCs. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even remember killing these people, especially this girl. I don't even I don't even remember this girl at all. I've never seen this girl before. I also saw this other girl by the maid cafe. She looked normal at first, but then I got to her and it said she was dead. And when I tried to drag her, she went upside down, and after that, I couldn't do anything with her. It was really weird, really strange. I've never experienced this before. Anyway, let's just get on with what I was telling you previously. So if you ask a guy to follow you, he will follow you anywhere, even in the girls' hot spring. This causes every girl to freak out and then causes teachers to carry the men towards the prison. I decided to carry a guy on my back and put on auto mode, and my character was spinning and freaking out, like running all over the place trying to get this guy off my back. Before I move on from the hot spring, I want to just analyze the hot spring from the outside. On the boys' side, there's nothing. It's a regular wall, regular structure, and the back, the same thing. Nothing odd. But when you go to the girls' side, there's a ladder. Standing on the very top step, you have a perfect view of the girls' hot spring. I've never seen an NPC use these steps, mainly because they can't jump, and the only way I got up here was by flying. So I could only guess that this was just a decoration choice. How many times has there been hot spring spies in animes? Too many times. I'm thinking that's just what they were trying to do, referencing to just stuff that seems common, even though it's creepy and shouldn't be common. Now let's talk about Raimu. You can find her at the shrine, and she sells lottery tickets if you choose the right numbers. I don't really know how it works. I've never won before. But the reason why we're talking about her is because she's originally from a different media. That media being a video game series called Toho. There could be two explanations on why Raimu is in this game. Number one, the developer didn't know it was from another media, or number two, he knew but still added it. But I mean, I'm surprised that he hasn't gotten sued, or maybe they're just not that strict on suing people by putting their characters in different games. I'm not really sure how that works. Now, I want to address the whole ghost situation. And no, I don't mean these types of ghosts where you freeze yourself and you're just kind of floating around. I'm talking about the ghost button that the game originally had. Taking a look at the game that I have right now, there's no ghost option. But for some, there is a ghost option, and let me show you what I mean. On YouTube, I found a video of somebody pressing the ghost option and just showing you what it's like to press it. It's essentially just a bunch of models of girls who look exactly the same and are just placed on the map randomly, and they don't really do anything. You can't attack them or anything. Basically ghosts, which is what they are. I know iOS doesn't have this option. I'm not really sure why. If you know why it was removed or never added to iOS, let me know. Let's talk about the famous killers. In the school garden, you'll find a shed that has regular gardening tools, nothing out of the ordinary. To your left, however, there's a Jason mask. When you click A, this sound plays. Then at the top left, you'll see something that says Oni 1. Now, the more you click this mask, the more the numbers go up. So it'll go Oni 1, Oni 2, Oni 3. It stops at 5, but if you put on the mask 2, it goes to 6. What does this mean? Well, you just summoned kidnappers. When you have this mask, you are considered a killer, so people will run away from you. You'll see lots of other killers in the map. They'll just hit someone and carry them over their shoulder and drop them off in the same shed. They hold them hostage there until these people that were taken turn into killers too. If you put your character in auto mode, it'll follow the routine that every other killer has, which is basically kidnapping people, putting them in the shed. If you take off your mask at any point, you're immediately seen as a target and will start to be hunted down by the rest of the killers. And just a side thing I didn't mention before, but does anyone else feel like the Game Over song is kind of scary? I've always thought that it was, and I didn't like it. I didn't like hearing it. Now that I'm older, I notice it's not as scary, but let me know. I might just be crazy. I also noticed this strange statue in the garden. It's a figure with a cloak that hides their face. It's very ominous. I don't know what it means. I'm not even sure if it even relates to Schoolgirls Simulator. It might just be an asset from a different game or a source of media, similar to Raimu. But yeah, I mean, as far as all the players know, this statue has no significance in the game at all, which is also why I would love to hear some type of backstory of why this was added there. Now let's move on to the roaming animals. In this game, you can find 3 animals. Number 1, a kitty cat that's basically like a stereotypical anime game cat. Literally every anime high school simulator game has this type of cat. Or even from Kitten Cat Simulator 3D or Cat Simulator 2015, you know exactly what I mean. By the way, the style of these cats are from Unity assets. They're called Coo Cats, just if you're curious, now you know. The other 2 animals that you can find are a dog and a goat. Now this goat has been around for as long as I can remember. So has the cat, I'm pretty sure. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure we used to be able to straddle this goat, but now we can't. I don't know, maybe that was just an old feature. Something that people notice is that sometimes students and teachers don't come to school the next day. That's because these days are weekends. So instead of finding all the characters in school, you'll find them outside of school, basically living their life. I also heard that there's a specific NPC who works at the burger place in the weekends. I tried to look for her, but for some reason I didn't see her at all. Maybe I was looking on the wrong day, I'm not sure. I looked it up on YouTube and yeah, there's footage of Nori taking orders and such. I guess she has a part-time job. I believe she's the only classmate that has a job. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Now, I want to ask you something, especially if you've played this game before. Do you remember drone bunnies? I ask this because I never knew they existed. I never had it in my game. They're supposed to be here right next to this claw machine, but in my game, there's nothing. Here's some footage on YouTube of what they look like and what they do. They're basically minions and they attack for you. I really wonder why this was never in my game. Maybe it was at one point and got taken out. I truly have never experienced drone bunnies. Bunnies. That's why I'm asking you if you ever knew that existed, because I didn't. The only thing that's pretty similar to drone bunnies are these little plushies from the furniture store, but they don't even walk. Now, before I forget, because I've been wanting to talk about this, but did you know that characters can pee themselves? If a character does not go to the bathroom in time, they will legitimately pee on the floor. This is gonna sound really crazy, but in the infirmary, there's a diuretic drug that you can inject into anybody. If you inject the diuretic twice into the same person, they will basically have an accident. And everybody who witnesses it will surround this person and say, wow, including our character. I honestly feel so bad when they pee themselves. I mean, imagine how embarrassing that is. But I injected so many people at this point and there's just a bunch of pee puddles everywhere. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done this. This is kind of gross. If you're still watching, thank you. We are now approaching the last section. So I'm pretty sure that no matter what app store you download this game from, in the beginning, when you first open the app, there won't be any weapons. I would show you this myself. However, like I said, Schoolgirls Simulator was removed from my app store, so if I were to delete my game and try to get it back, I won't be able to even find it. So here's a clip from Lauren. By the way, hi Lauren, I love you. We can see that when she's playing, there's no weapons, and when she flies, the camera is basically facing downwards, so when you fly, you can't really see where you're flying to. I know because I've experienced this on my phone before, and it's terrible. I mean, I always wondered, how can I fix the camera when I'm flying, and how do I get weapons? Well, I heard that if you watch ads for accessories or hairs or anything like that in the main menu, you will gain weapons and your camera angle will fix. Also, I didn't even know that the hot springs are removed too beforehand, so after you unlock everything, you also unlock the hot springs. I never did this personally. All I did was reopen the app over and over again. When I did that, it worked. So I didn't watch ads for anything, I just hoped for the best, which worked. But yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody has experienced this playing for the first time. Why does the game do this? I don't know. I'm guessing it's for App Store censorship. You know how really weird and strict app stores are. I mean, you've seen it with other games. Sakura School Simulator, Schoolgirls Supervisor, you know, it's just something that every high school anime game goes through. Now, do you guys also remember when behind the school, students would just ask you to give them food? Like, they would request a food item from you and they would just wait there until you returned with it. I know that sounds really weird and crazy and you probably think I'm making that up, but no, I remember it. Students used to ask you for food, like they would ask you to deliver them food. I literally can't seem to find it anymore in the game. I even made a character follow me behind the school to see if it would trigger any dialogue, but no, I don't know if they took it out or if it was a bug, and I couldn't find anything on YouTube about it until I was so lucky enough to catch a sliver of what I'm talking about. Look at this clip right here. This random NPC stops your character asking if you can deliver an item to them. So now I know that I'm not crazy and that actually happened. I don't think that it's still a feature because it hasn't happened to me in a long time. Now I want to talk about something that people find really interesting, which is the main menu mystery girls. For a brief second after pressing start, you'll get a clear view of the background image. Within this image, you can find a girl who doesn't really exist in the game. Other times, you'll also see two girls instead of one, and they're always wearing these stockings. This video that I'm showing you is a theory that somebody made, basically saying that maybe they are actually real characters in the game, but look different for some reason. Though every time you see these characters, they'll start to change in hairstyle, hair color, but they'll always have the same socks. The theories of these two girls are really good. Honestly, I think that these are just placeholders. I don't think that they're actually real characters. I don't think they're supposed to be significant. Even so, though, it's really strange, and I'm gonna be honest, I could kind of see a creepypasta coming out of this.
Hello again, guys. It looks like Oli is officially immune because she forgot to talk about the deleted characters. Taking a look at Schoolgirls Simulator fandom wiki pages, we can see that there are many deleted/removed students. We can see that there was also deleted teachers. It seems that these deleted students were eventually replaced with characters that we know as of today. The reason for removal is unknown, but it's most likely just because the developer changed his plan regarding characters.
Anyways, guys, I need to ask you another question. Yeah, I've been asking you a lot of questions recently, I'm sorry. But have you ever wondered what it would be like for this game to be multiplayer? I'm sure we all have. There's videos on YouTube of people basically making their own fake multiplayer servers. Basically making their own version of what it would be like to have multiplayer. I'm gonna just say it right now in case any of you are confused. What I'm showing right now is fake. These are not real multiplayer servers, this is just editing. The closest that we have ever been to a multiplayer server for Schoolgirls Simulator that is official is the chat feature. There used to be an option called chat, and whenever you clicked on it, it would open a box of, I would assume, global chats. It seems like a really cool idea. I'm sure that it was enjoyable at one point, but for some reason it was removed. I don't think this chat feature was ever available to iOS. I'm pretty sure it was just an Android thing. Now let's talk about Chieko and Kana, which is basically two characters that the whole fandom is skeptical about. These two girls allegedly never leave each other's side. I guess they're always together. But for some reason, I observed them and they were never really together. They were always doing their own thing. They spawn from completely different directions, so I really doubt that they have a connection. But anyways, you're probably wondering, what's so weird about these characters? Players often find these two characters standing weirdly outside of the school, usually somewhere behind the school, and they'll just stand there and basically do nothing until class starts. If you ask me, yes, I've seen this happen before, but only with one character. Another thing that people find odd about these two characters is that they have a similar eval system like a Sakura would. Do you remember me talking about how Sakuras can't receive or give eval because they're not data saving? Well, these two characters are basically the same way. You can't build relationships with these two girls because, like I said, they don't give eval points. One more thing that's really weird about these two characters is that unlike every other classmate, they will revive the next day. The only people that revive the next day are teachers. So it's pretty weird that these two would revive also. I wanted to test out this theory, but the only way I can do that is if I just massacre the entire place. I tried my best to get everybody. It was kind of hard because people are walking in and out of the school, and sometimes I saw people that I didn't even know were still alive, but in the end I'm pretty sure I got basically everybody. I saved my game on file 2, then I reopened it. Spawning in, I see all the teachers and the nurse, which is nothing weird, this is normal. But then I saw this one guy, maybe I just didn't kill him, maybe I missed him in the massacre. And finally, I see Kana, and she's literally standing where she always stands. However, she's the only one I saw. I didn't see the other girl. The rumor of her weirdly reviving is true. Really weird. I wonder why that's the case. I wonder if there's a reason or if this is just, something that the creator didn't mean to do. Well, I mean, as you probably guessed, the whole place was basically a ghost town. There was nobody except teachers. So I basically spent my entire school day as my teacher's only student. Now let's talk about the creator, Miramsoft. I want to say Microsoft, but Miramsoft. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Now this developer has a YouTube channel which essentially shows all the progress that Schoolgirls Simulator has gone through. From the very first videos from this channel, we can kind of see that the first few projects were not originally Schoolgirls Simulator. At one point we have a card game which is very similar looking to Schoolgirls Simulator. It's really interesting to see where Schoolgirls Simulator stemmed from. Of course, there's always gonna be old versions of games, and especially this game. I remember the freaking game thumbnail icon being this girl with a gun. Just like many of you, I remember so many old versions and different details of this game that used to be possible and now either were removed or basically changed completely. Remember when I mentioned that this developer made a card game? Well, in Schoolgirls Simulator, there's, I would say, a reference to that game. In your house, you have a deck of cards. If you click A, you'll see some options and one of them says start a game. I tried to press it, but it said something in a different language. I translated it and it said basically not enough players to start the game. So I went to the school, I gathered some people and I did it, and oh my gosh, I could not tell what was happening. It was so zoomed in. But then I figured out that you can just move away and you wouldn't be so close. So I honestly did not understand what was happening in the game. It was going by turns, but when it was my turn, it didn't let me place a turn. It only let me pass, which I don't know if I was doing anything wrong. I probably was. Thought I'd mention this because I think it's a pretty cool detail showing a legacy of what Schoolgirls Simulator used to be. Taking a look at the recent uploads of this channel, you can kind of see that the game seems to be put on hold. There's been no updates for this game in roughly 3 years. It's been removed from the App Store and still hasn't been added back. It's in general leading people to think that the game has been abandoned, though I would say it might not be. It might just be a little break that the developer is taking. Taking a look on the YouTube channel, we can see that some videos were uploaded 5 years ago, while the next one was uploaded 3 years ago. That means the developer basically took, 2 years off and then uploaded another video? So I mean, I personally think that the developer will come back. Maybe they're making a whole different game, maybe they're working on something that is taking their time away from Schoolgirls Simulator. This developer has a blog in which he basically talks about his journey with the game, his difficulties as well. The most recent one that was made was on March 17, 2024. What I can gather from this post and a few posts before it is that the developer is having some issues with the Unity engine and ad payments. Going back to 2020, we can see that the creator wanted to change the game engine for Schoolgirls Simulator. Though it seems that there was many difficulties in trying to do so, we can also see that the creator planned on making a Schoolgirls Simulator 2, which would basically confirm a sequel. However, there hasn't been any updates on it or anything regarding it, so I'm not really sure if that's still a plan that the creator has. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the creator's coming back once they're ready, once they get everything situated. I really doubt that they would throw away such a game, especially because it was so popular. It's clear that the creator had many ideas and plans, so I would think it would be safe to say that we'll see more of this later on in the future. This game is a very big influence to many people, including some little YouTubers that basically revolve their content on Schoolgirls Simulator, role-playing, making their own stories, and woo, that was pretty scary, huh? Well, I hope that it wasn't that scary for you because I literally went over all of the things in that video. No, this game is not supposed to be scary. Maybe some aspects, of course, but this video here makes the game seem like a complete horror game. And don't think I'm hating on, these types of videos. I love them. Trust me, I love them so much. It seems like they're a freaking creepypasta or lost media, even though they're not. I mean, I guess you could kind of count Schoolgirls Simulator as lost media because it's off app stores, but I'll just leave that to you guys, whether or not you would call it lost media. So, Schoolgirls Simulator, really great game, very nostalgic, even with all the things that would make me really mad, such as trying to grab this chocolate heart from your house when it's right next to your chair, so you're like having a seizure trying to grab it, and when dialogues randomly cancel when you don't even do anything to cancel it, and all the times my character randomly will talk to herself. It's still a very memorable game, and it really kind of sucks that it's not on app stores at the moment. Like I said, just give it some time. I'm sure it'll come back better than ever. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you can relive some of those memories with the help of my video. Thank you guys for all of your your input. It really helped me make this video, and let me know what else you want me to make a video about.